All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about building your personal playbook for something pretty powerful, an earthquake. Now, this isn't about getting scared. Nope. This is about being smart. It's about knowing you've got a plan and feeling in control when every single second counts.
You remember that old story, right? The grasshopper just chills all summer, has a great time, while the little ant is working its tail off getting ready for winter. Well, when the snow hits, you know who's feeling cozy and safe. It's the perfect way to think about being prepared. So, quick question for you. Right now, are you the ant or the grasshopper when it comes to earthquake readiness? Hey, no judgment. By the time we're done here, you're going to be 100% the ant.
So why are we even talking about this? Well, if you live in British Columbia, being the ant isn't just a nice little idea, it's absolutely essential. You know, for us, earthquakes aren't some far-off, what-if kind of thing. They are literally baked into the ground we live on. So understanding that risk, that's step one.
Check out this number, magnitude 9. And that is not some worst-case computer simulation. That's history. That is the estimated size of the monster Cascadia earthquake that rocked this province back on January 26, 1700. I mean, it was so powerful it actually sent a tsunami all the way across the ocean to Japan. That's not a model, that's a fact.
And that brings us to right now. Today, seismologists figured the odds of another major, really damaging quake hitting our region in the next 50 years are as high as 1 in 3. Whoa. Yeah, those are not the kind of odds you want to bet against. And really, this quote from an earthquake program manager just says it all, doesn't it? The threat isn't a possibility, it's a certainty. So the only question that really matters is, will we be ready for the when?
Okay, so enough about the threat. Let's totally switch gears and talk about what we can actually do. This is where you get to take back control. These are real, concrete steps you can take, like this weekend, long before the ground even thinks about shaking, to make you and your family a whole lot safer.
We can break this all down into these 4 pretty manageable projects. Just think of it like a checklist. You don't have to do everything at once, but just getting started is huge. So let's start with number 1, which honestly might be the most important one for preventing injuries.
Okay, listen up, because this is a really critical fact. In most earthquakes, it's not the building falling down that hurts people, it's their own stuff. It's the tall bookcase that tips over, or all the plates and glasses flying out of the kitchen cupboards. Every single one of these points is a simple fix you can do on a Saturday that could literally save a life.
Next up is supplies. And here's a common mistake people make, thinking you only need one kit. Nope, you actually need 2 totally different kinds. Think of your big home kit as your bunker. It's for hunkering down for a week. But your grab-and-go bag, that's your escape pod. It's got to be light, personal, and ready in a split second. 2 different jobs, both totally vital.
All right, so you've prepped your house, you've got your kits ready to go, but what about that moment, the most critical moment of all, when the shaking actually starts? You are not going to have time to think. Your body just has to know what to do. It has to be muscle memory. And this is the whole point of the Great ShakeOut Drill.
If you forget everything else, please remember this. Drop, cover, and hold on. Let's break that down real quick. You drop before the earthquake drops you. You cover your head and your neck, your most vulnerable spots. And you hold on, because that desk or table is going to be moving, and you need to move with it to stay safe.
And this is what it looks like. Just take a look. This simple little sequence, drop, cover, hold on, is recognized by emergency experts all over the world as the single best thing you can do to avoid getting hurt. You want to burn this image right into your brain.
Now, it's just as important to know what not to do. Let's bust a couple of myths. That whole idea of standing in a doorway, that's an old myth from back when houses were made of adobe. In a modern home, a doorway is no safer, and it won't protect you from flying objects. And running outside? That is one of the most dangerous things you can do. That's where all the bricks, glass, and building materials are going to be falling. You are way safer inside.
So you're probably thinking, but what if I'm not near a table? Great question. The same ideas still apply. If you're in bed, just stay there, roll onto your stomach, cover your head with your pillow. It is so much safer than trying to run across a floor that might have broken glass on it. If you're driving, your car is actually a pretty good shock absorber. Just pull over somewhere clear, away from bridges and power lines, and stay put. See, the core idea is always the same. Get low and protect your head and neck.
And then, silence. It just stops. And there's this weird, eerie quiet. That moment right there is incredibly critical. What you choose to do in those first few minutes can make a massive difference for your safety and for everyone else's.
Before you move an inch, I want you to do this one thing. Count to 60. A full minute.
I know, it's going to feel like forever, but that pause gives everything that got shifted around during the quake a chance to finally fall. It's a simple little pause that could stop you from standing up just as a heavy picture slides off the wall. Okay, your minute is up. You are now your own first responder. First, check yourself and anyone near you for injuries. Second, put on some sturdy shoes. I guarantee there's going to be broken glass. Then, assess for other dangers, like a small fire or the smell of gas. And finally, remember this. Aftershocks are a sure thing, so be ready to drop, cover, and hold on all over again.
This next one is so important, and it goes against every instinct you're going to have. Your first impulse will be to call your family, to call your friends. You have to fight that urge. If everyone tries to make a phone call at the same time, the cell networks will just crash instantly. And that could stop someone with a life-threatening injury from being able to reach 911. A simple text message uses way less network space and has a much better shot of getting through. So please, text, don't talk. Keep those lines clear.
So, now you've got the playbook. You get the risk and you know the steps for before, during, and after. But here's the thing, just knowing it isn't quite enough. We have to turn that knowledge into pure, automatic, don't even have to think about it instinct.
And this is the day to do it. So grab your phone, open your calendar app. On October 16th, at exactly 10:16 in the morning, millions of us across British Columbia and all over the world are going to practice how to drop, cover, and hold on during the Great ShakeOut Earthquake Drill.
And you will not be doing this alone, not by a long shot. Just last year, over 805,000 people right here in BC did this exact same drill. That is a huge community of people all working together to build a culture of being ready.
And if we zoom out, it's not just us. Globally, we're talking nearly 60 million people who participate. This is a massive worldwide movement, and it just shows how important this simple drill really is. You're going to be part of something huge.
Because really, at the end of the day, all this great information is only useful if you can actually use it when you're under stress. And practice is what builds that life-saving muscle memory, so you do the right thing without even having to think.
And that's really what I want to leave you with. Think back to that ant. It didn't just have a plan for winter, right? It spent the entire summer acting on that plan. The earthquake is the test, and the time to prepare, and more importantly to practice, is right now.